We don't need money from outside. So, but we don't want to empower people here. We say that our lawmakers, we have become lawbreakers. We have become criminals. We put all the money in the budget for ourselves and leave them out. I want to challenge some of your lawmakers. Some people say they want this senator. They're breaking all the law. The law you mean breaking the law, but you want to go up. You know why people want to go up? Because they want to increase the time. They say they're too short. You cannot be a gangster, then you want to run low. You cannot be a lawmaker that then respecting the law that we made ourselves. Then you say you want this senator, and then you waste your time. Nobody here can be for the government economy. But when we can be what is not happening, and it will never happen. The only thing they are there for, when last people for their government even say, don't know what I'm saying, can you one person I want to go in court? But they say that over there in court, their family people because they need work. And the person that needs work, and the person that person they want there. We implore our family because some people are happy. Because it is a time to be happy. It is nobody time when the country is not better. It is everybody time when the country is better. And we give this as a challenge to all of you people. 2029, we may be on the ballot for the presidency. Where we will come here and say, you people will have to appoint a commissioner for certificate. The police they are educated people. It's not about education. It's about how well you govern your people. They have people that got degrees, they know nothing. The only person with every people that they can achieve nothing from. Our marketeers will come to power. In every country, at least 2 million and break out for marketeers, people rather, and younger boys to empower themselves. The money is there, but everything is long way back carrying the benefit up. Because we are close. Talking to the president, it's not a good thing. Yes. They're happy. Saying that you, my mother, your mama happy to you. And you are not going to betray your or betray the great people in life today. Your are not going to be crossing. You understand? You understand? You don't want to say your you said the president probably is the most around you. Okay. All right, we're coming to anything you want to say for now before we leave you. Thank you so much.
Yes, we are both today. You know, see, because I said it, so they are one corner, they do our own day. And they tell the other they kind of won't be on with advance. You can't continue for it. Tell him to forget about it. I can't call you by it. Okay, bye.
Hello.
Eric,
Yeah, man.
my son, you made mistake.
Father.
I heard you last night. Me and Kun indeed to move Pupa. Absolutely, after the whole election, I'm in my corner. If you hear my preaching most Sunday, you will conclude that I'm right. Will you rescue as a nomenclature after winning? The broadcaster don't even answer my phone. They don't pick me up. They don't let me down. They don't even have time.
Oh.
I don't talk. Yeah, I don't talk because God knows why it's happening. And everything I will accept it because our son Kun is vice president to him for Nimba. The Nimba people will not understand if I start hating on Boyka. The Senate started type of Boyka. When we are wrote, the Senate did a comprehensive report of their findings and attached the Supreme Court ruling and the amnesty law and everything. And the position statement for those commissioners who decided from body to where and said the way forward is a Panama House discussion for peace. Then when Boyka come now, he is deceived by coming there, by the Dillon there, Nombi there, and he now where he's just taking all kind of way Boyka, all kind of thing. He want to go after people. Then, you know, the CDC still control the lower house, the upper house. So they went, some kind of thing they did, but they did a resolution that passed because of money crossing.
Yeah.
Then they sent it to the Senate. Then something happened. Wow! All that they almost signed to Yombi house. Then they brought it that Tuesday morning. They didn't tell me they had for me. Oh! Then when I heard what was happening, it was remain 2 persons to sign. That was me, that was Bani, Jim Bani. Now when I went to Kun, I said, what is going on? You were here when we had sent paper, and you were here with our own leadership, and we sent the report, all documents, legal documents, to guide where. Then Boyka benefited from the 2010 decision by the Supreme Court to be involved in the election in 2011 because he was not wrong with them.
You're right.
He benefited.
You're right.
Then after serving a Bible for 12 years now, he's now president now. We finished campaign for that kind of woman, then he want to persecute us. He not going to persecute us. So what is going on with Kun? Then Kun said, well, what I will do for you is to help you with lawyer. Your partner said, go look for lawyer. It was from Kun offered, my own son offered that I went and signed a resolution. I asked many seconds why you all did this. You know what they told me?
No.
Resolution is not a law. So signing the resolution, I mean, we agree. Bring it now. When Boyka send a bill, they will not put all the law they put in now and back it.
I called you Rescue One. Do you think I really believe that at 80 years old you would be able to rescue this country? We embellished it. You know, when you are a sales representative, when you are a salesperson, you're selling a commodity or a product, your job is to embellish that product. They say, Fantin won't say office or bony ratting. Did you think I knew, or did you think I mistook you for a rescuer? An old man who belongs to the dustbin of our history with a cake views, a man who cannot even operate a laptop computer? No, we settled. We made a compromise on you. That's what we did. We settled. We compromised. And we believed you were a good man and we were sympathetic towards you. We in All Liberian Party. And after we saw you and touted you about and projected you as though you could rescue this country, and we called you Rescue One. How could you rescue the country when you could not even rescue your own finances? 12 years as vice president, we had to be begging for money all over the place, raising money to sustain you. What contacts did you establish as vice president? What? It shows today. Everyone can see your campaign. It's a dysfunctional juggernaut led by people who have bought into this hype which we created, hype which we are sucking the life out of now. We will suck the life out of you. Knock the wind out of your sail. The wind we put in your sail, we'll take it back. How dare you call us insignificant when you were in political nobody after 2017 and we resurrected that dead political carcass of yours. And you show us ingratitude and wickedness. Where are you? Our falling out with George, we did. Fundamental. The issues about which we disagree with George, are still issues that we're concerned about. But we're not here to give you power so that you turn it over to Jeremiah Kumi and Prince Johnson. Jeremiah Kumi is a Liberian citizen. If he wishes to run for president, it is his right to run for president. But to hide behind you, he and his warlord, his mass murdering, lunatical, deranged, unstable warlord godfather. We're not going to give the country to a warlord. Everybody used Prince Johnson in this country. And he used him to come to power. George Weah used him too. But neither Ellen nor Weah brought Prince Johnson this close as you, Joe Boakai, have brought him. You know what Joe Boakai did? Subsequently, Joseph Boakai reached out to me about a week or so later. I have that proof here too. I will show you as well. He said, Henry, now he has seen coming to be his cow now to be milking. Let milk the man. He said, Henry, can you get, like that you were me, my dependable nephew? Do you think you can get Alex to donate $300,000 to the JMB Foundation? He tried to make it look like it's money for the foundation because he doesn't want to say for Cummings to get money. Do you think you can get Cummings to donate $300,000 to the JMB Foundation for some initiatives, making it sound all decent and professional? I said, well, Uncle, let me think about it and I'll refer to you. To be honest with you folks, I never asked Mr. Cummings. You had just eaten the man's 45,000 US for a trip you had no interest in. Now you're asking me to go back to Alex Cummings through his people and make a request for $300,000. Then he said, you know, he might be inclined to give us the money because he wants something. So this is the honest.
My people, where you at? Where you at? Welcome to summer. Stop sleeping. Whip your hands, whip your hands, whip your hands, whip your. Come on, come on, come on. I know y'all sleeping now. Y'all gotta whip us some more, yeah? Okay, let's go.
Oh no, Takun J, we are not sleeping. We are up and ready, up and strong, up and focused, up and courageous, up and determined, up and reinvigorated to do the people's job. And that's why we are here tonight on the Thursday's edition of the show. Let me say a very, very pleasant good evening to all of you across the country. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to those of you in the diaspora. Our friends, our fans, our followers, our critics. And even those of you who do not like the things we say and the way we say them, it's good to have all of you joining us tonight. Tonight's edition is going to be another interesting one. We look deeper, we go for the real issues and the individuals connected to the issues. Yes, most statements continue to pull out following the ruling from the Supreme Court of Liberia. In Nima County, Edith Gonglo West has conceded defeat, extending a message of congratulations to Samuel Koga, Senator-elect of Nima County, replacing the late Senator Prince Yomi Johnson. Telling you, brother. So where are the schools? Where are the roads? Just on today, we saw the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Jonathan Fonanti Kofa, driving his official vehicle when he went to the Vatican. The embassy of the Vatican in Monrovia to pay tribute
To show nothing.
to the Holy Father.
Why the government should lie? Why? But that the question that we ask.
Is there a signal to consider? Information Minister Jeremy Matthew Pierre spoke today. He said it was the government's initial statement. But guess what? We have a breaking news for you from the executive mansion. But before we announce the breaking news, Senator of Riverside County and the chairman of the Riverside County Legislative Caucus has issued a strong statement delivering a message to the two members of the House of Representatives and all citizens of Riverside County. We have the statement and we are going to read for you what the senator has written.
With the promises that led us to allow damages.
Very shortly, we might interrupt our show to relay ELBC, His Excellency the President of the Republic of Liberia, Joseph Yiman Boaka, will shortly address the nation. Joseph Yiman Boaka, President of the Republic of Liberia, will shortly speak to the nation.
Why? The government should lie. Why? But that the question that we ask.
I do not know what he's about to speak about, but I know that His Excellency the President will shortly address the country, will shortly address all of us, the citizens of this country. And I'm very sure it's going to be on pertinent national issues.
Why? But that the question that
Whatsoever the issue is, or the issues are, or the issues may be, the president will speak shortly to the nation. And I'm quoting Deputy Director General for Administration, for Broadcasting, Alexandra Amno. She posted that. And so we will follow very shortly.
the government betray us.
So we dig deeper into all the happenings concerning just following the ruling from the Supreme Court of Liberia in the houses. On today, we saw members of the leadership of the House touring the facility of the House of Representatives. And that tour was led by Marvin Cole, chairman for the House's Committee on Rules, Order, and Administration.
The vision and your mission, your intention to the nation.
But while that was going on, we observed something.
Nothing.
We observed an action from District Number 10 Representative Yeke Koluba, which we all were also going to talk about tonight. This show is proudly sponsored by Crime Stopper Liberia of Omesem Sion, and we are in partnership with Yanjing Bier,
The people lie to us. The government betray us.
as well as the Entertainment Liberia. Tonight is Thursday, and we are paying our $10,000 if you play the cash giveaway and win. All you have to do, just make sure you have 100 200 Liberian dollars on your mobile money account, or it's equivalent. It's equivalent in US dollars. When you have that, you are qualified to play the cash giveaway. Just dial *799 *70#. You send,
Indeed, and now you need to deceive us.
and then you wait on the two options will appear before you. If you see that option number 1, it means you are playing in US dollars.
The citizens don't
And if you select option number 2, it means you are playing in Liberian dollars. Whichever option you select, you send, and you enter your mobile money password. That's how you play the cash giveaway. We want to take a break from our sponsor, Crime Stopper Liberia, shortly.
now we
When we come back, we move straight into our discussion.
the people who us. The people lie to us.
That's the size and shit. Let's take a break from our sponsor. We come back. We are monitoring to join ELBC shortly, or we continue with our discussion until we can join ELBC.
The people who us. The people lie to us. Shama musical. There are crimes in many places. In every community, you can see. So if you see crime and report it, don't take law in your hand for the real authority. Really can't take your law in. Crime stopper here for us, bringing safety to your door. Whether you rich or you poor, if you see a you must. You see, I don't keep it. I'm a part of it. Get people bringing safety to your door. Stopping crime and making peace for them before. Come stop on Liberia, on the second to interior. Keeping us safe, they're stopping crime for all of us. Get people bringing safety to your door.
Highest arbiter of justice. Accordingly, my government has already initiated broad consultations with the relevant national stakeholders to determine the most appropriate and constitutionally sound path forward. We have actively involved our traditional and other national leaders in addressing the matter. In doing so, we remain fully committed to preserving the sanctity of our democracy, the principle of three separate but coordinated branches of government. The Liberians, our Constitution and the Supreme Court have defined what constitutes a quorum for the conduct of business in the legislature. We vigorously uphold this vital principle of our constitutional democracy. We will continue to work with a quorum that will ensure the full functioning of our government. Over the past months, we have watched with growing concern as the division in the House of Representatives remains unresolved, undermining public confidence in our most vital democratic institutions. Tragically, we have also witnessed the torching of the Capitol building, a national symbol of democracy, by arsonists intent on sowing chaos and discord. Today, we received report of acts of vandalism intended to desecrate the dignity of our public institutions and buildings. The police are investigating. Let me be clear, under our leadership, the government of Liberia will not be held hostage by a narrow interest for acts of lawlessness. The work of governance will continue, and nothing will distract us from our duty to serve the Liberian people. We are a country governed by laws, not by mobs or self-serving ambition. Those who undermine peace, violate the law, or seek to disrupt national harmony will face the full force of the law and justice. To all Liberians, I urge you to go about your daily business, your lives peacefully and confidently. Your government remains functional and steadfast in its responsibility to deliver services, maintain order, and uphold the values of democracy and good governance. I call on every elected leader to remember their oath, not to themselves, but to the Liberian nation, state, and people. I call on every citizen to rise above division and demonstrate the enduring values of patriotism, unity, and national purpose. As we seek political solutions to the impasse, let us do so with calm heads and committed hearts, ever mindful that Liberia is bigger than any one of us, any one person, party, or position. We will protect our democracy. We will preserve our peace, and together we will move Liberia forward. May God bless us all, and may God bless the Republic of Liberia.
President Joseph Boakai.
Okay. That was the voice of President Joseph Yiman Boakai, President of the Republic of our country. They're addressing the nation. Okay, somebody said they were sending me the prepared text. And let me see whether it is here. Let's see whether we get it in. Okay, so yes, we have to make adjustment in the broadcast because of the president's address, and I'm trying to see whether it is already here. Okay, so the president, you listen to the president. He has addressed the nation and making a number of references. The president, among other things, until we can get the statement, the text. There are key things the president said, and we have to focus on them. So while you were speaking, we were jotting down some points. The president spoke about engagement, with engagement with the traditional leaders. That the traditional leaders are engaging all parties involved, and that to ensure that the impasse is resolved. The president said the Supreme Court, he acknowledged that the Supreme Court has established or determined what a quorum is. And he also said that his government will work with the quorum to ensure the full function of the legislature. The president spoke about how today he was briefed about some acts of vandalism in the legislature, and that the police is investigating. Obviously, the fact that the police is investigating means the government is awaiting the police investigation and findings from the investigation, and that his government will take action against those involved. The president said the country is a country of law, and that those involved will face the full weight of the law and justice. The president said that he called on elected leaders or elected members to remember the oath that they took. Again, I repeat, the president reminded elected leaders, and I will add, including Joe Barker, elected leaders, to remember the oath that they took to protect and defend the Constitution and laws of the Republic of Liberia, and they swore to say, "So help me God." The president also said that he's going to seek political solution to the impasse on Capitol Hill, but as he seeks political solution to the impasse of Capitol Hill, elected leaders must remember the oath that they took. But there is a takeaway that I see a lot of people are running with already. The president said, "We will continue to work with the quorum." After he said the Supreme Court has established what a quorum is, his administration will continue. Continue. That's the key word that I want all of you to learn tonight, to consider. The president said he will continue to work with the quorum. The Supreme Court has established what a quorum is, and that his government will continue to work with the quorum. So those are the key takeaways from the president's speech tonight. We'll come back to run into it. We'll play you what the Minister of Information also had to say today. I don't think we should play PR, because PR says it was the government initiative, and the president has spoken, so the president's account takes preeminence over all other statements that have been made by officials of the government. So this guy said you're sending me this statement. That's all. But anyway, let's go with all the audio. Now, let's go through some of the. Let's read what the lawmaker, the senator, the chairman of the caucus of River says had to say as well. This can open. Yes, it's opening. And then I will have to zoom and then go through it. So this is issue. The press statement in office of Senator Bill Torrey, Riverside County, Republic of Liberia, immediate release for Senator Bill Torrey urges Riverside lawmakers to respect Supreme Court's decision. Senator Bill Torrey of Riverside County reaffirms his unwavering commitment to democracy and the rule of law, emphasizing the critical role of judicial decisions as foundational to governance. In light of the recent ruling from the Supreme Court of Liberia, Senator Torrey calls on all representatives and stakeholders within Riverside County to uphold and respect the authority of Liberia's highest judicial body. The Supreme Court remains the backbone of our democracy, ensuring fairness, justice, and the protection of our constitutional rights. Senator Torrey asserted, as leaders entrusted with the people's mandate, it is our solemn duty to lead by example, respect the rule of law, and promote national unity. Senator Torrey highlights the necessity for Riverside County's lawmakers in the House of Representatives to resume official duties under the leadership of Councillor Jonathan Fonanti Kofa, emphasizing that collaboration and responsible governance are paramount for the stability and effective representation of Riverside County. By making this call, Senator Torrey seeks to create an environment of peace, progress, and constructive dialogue ensuring the Supreme Court's ruling is implemented efficiently and without obstruction. He underscores that unwavering respect for the legal system is vital for fostering sustained growth and harmony in Riverside County and Liberia as a whole. Senator Tory remains steadfast in the dedication to serving the people of Riverside County, advocating for justice, equality, and meaningful development that strengthens democracy and public confidence in Liberia's institutions. So that's a statement from the chairman of the caucus of Riverside County, calling on his two representatives, the two lawmakers of the county, to return to the authority of the authority of Fonati Kufa, and we are hoping that the two lawmakers will yield to the core. Yield to the core. Okay. So. Okay. Stand has also issued a statement. Let me get what Stand, a civil society group. No man, I want the statement is here, not the article. But Stand is threatening is threatening protest. It's threatening protest. And according to them, they say they will rally the citizens if the government decides to ignore the ruling from the Supreme Court. In alliance with We the People protest movement, Stand delivers this final and unequivocal warning. Any continued defiance of the Supreme Court's ruling will trigger a non-violent public action, sustained and unrelenting, until justice is upheld and the rule of law is fully restored. So that's what Stand had to say today. Let's see what we can play you. So we said to you that EDF has conceded defeat. But folks, those of you who follow me on Facebook, you realize that I posted this evening about plans by the executive to instruct the police to arrest lawmakers who are members of the now leadership, then minority bloc now leadership of the House under the authority of Fonati, or lawmakers who believe to be loyal to Fonati Kufa, as a means of silencing those lawmakers and disempowering them from continuing to lead or provide leadership in the House. And they're going to use arbitrary means as they started last year. I know some lawmakers have already been indicted by the police through the office of Simeon Frank, who is the 103. So if any of you sitting somewhere thinking that this matter is over, it is not over. If any of you sitting somewhere thinking or celebrating that, oh yes, the Supreme Court has ruled and the matter is over, no, the matter is not over yet. I am not even too sure that it has started. There's an infrastructure in the Unity Party that is bent on destroying in this country, because I don't care about the government. And that infrastructure is divided into 3 different groups. Or let me say the infrastructure has 3 different layers, and they are positioned in the 3 different places. One is positioned in the executive mansion. One is positioned in the legislature. And one is positioned in the Unity Party. The sound is not clear. I can't do anything about the sound, bro. Is anybody else experiencing problem with the sound? Besides my brother Elijah Cuddy, is anybody experiencing problem with the sound? Besides, I'm referring to those of you on the live. Elijah Cuddy is saying the sound is not clear. Tuning car, Ralph Cooper, Mahedina, Stephen Nangwe, all of you who've joined us tonight, thanks for joining us. If you are experiencing problem with the sound on our live, please let us know. So, and we hope our technician can come in here and see whether everything is okay. Okay, Mohammed said it is clear. So, Elijah, you have to check your gadget. Let's see. Well, Elijah, sorry, it was around 8:32. It's almost 9 o'clock, so probably it's clear from Elijah's end at the moment. Melvin said good sound. Okay, so Elijah, check your gadget. Now, so we were saying to you that I think our technician has to come in here. Okay, Tumede say it's okay. Anatela say you are clear. Yeah, the sound is okay. So you guys, those of you having problem with the sound, I think you guys have to check your gadgets. Probably it's a phone you're using or the radio you're using, or maybe the signal is not too good at your end. So I was saying to you, if any of you sitting somewhere and thinking that all is well and the dust is settled in a house, and that we can now go to bed to sleep, we can now go to bed and sleep and say, oh yes, all is settled. All is not settled. The war, the political war is just about to start. And this war is being initiated by members of the executive branch of the Liberian government. I can confirm that to you. Somebody say, yeah, say a fresh or parallel war. No, it's not a fresh war. It's not a parallel war. It's a continuation of the war that was started in the house. And don't forget, this war that was started in the house got started by the very people you see in the executive. But they were using the vice president, Jeremiah Kun, who has his office in the legislature. The president that is telling us tonight that we should seek that elected officials should remember the oath of office that they took. It's the very president that in his statement tonight is telling you that they will continue to work with what his justice minister considered then as a quorum to do business. The president tonight should be calling on members of the House to return to the constitutional authority of the House as confirmed, validated, invested, or revested in Speaker Kofa by the Supreme Court of our country. That's what the president should be telling us tonight. But the president is telling us that they will continue to work with the quorum, what they consider as quorum. Meaning, Baga just told you that he will continue to do business with Richard Kun. Let me be more simplistic. All what Baga said tonight is that, hey, he will continue to do business with Richard Kun. That's what the president just said. That's the news. That's the takeaway. That's the breaking news. That's the biggest news in the country. Sorry. The biggest news in the country is that Joe Baga just confirmed that he will continue to work with Richard Kun as a speaker against the instruction of the Supreme Court. And you know what? I think it's like my job and I are refusing. I can't go take my job. I go do different thing. We can, and let me not say we, but anyway, I will use the word. I will use we for a reason to include all of us. We will not continue to do radio work in a system that is lawless. And I'm saying this tonight. Some of us, we are only here behind these microphones to awaiting the first practical action of the executive. Let me repeat. We are only here waiting for the first practical action that the executive will take in support to Richard Kun. Any form of practical support that is given to Richard Kun may end our stay here at Freedom FM. We will not work in a lawless system. A governance system that is lawless, no. It renders everybody that holds opposing view or opinion to the government vulnerable, because there is no law, there is no rule, there is no order. Yes. So we wait to see the practical action. But what the president said tonight is disgusting. It's embarrassing to our democracy. It's disturbing for our rule of law. It's going to undermine our justice system. It is a slap in the face of our justice system. It is an affront to our democracy. It is a disrespect, a total disrespect to the authority of the court. The president is saying that no one is above the law of our country. That's what the president just said. He said nobody is above the law. Only he, the president, is above the law. Because he is announcing that he will continue to do business with the quorum. And nobody will shut his government down. That's what he said. He will continue transacting. Does that statement give you any reason, give you any hope, Liberia? Does that statement tell you in any way that Liberia is heading somewhere? No, the country is going nowhere. At this point, we consider everything a total breakdown of law and order. We can't go anywhere. We can't do anything again. The highest court has ruled. The number one person in the country has said, I am not listening to you. Where else do you go? Israel? Do you go to the US embassy? Do you go to the French embassy? Where else do you go? The highest court in the land say, hey, this man is not the speaker of the country per the constitution. The highest court in the country, the highest position, the highest man in the country, the biggest man in the country say, no, I will continue to do business with this man. It means there is a total breakdown of law and order, and it is coming from the highest authorities in our country. But you're in the communities, you're still chasing chicken road and beating them and killing them. The lawmakers, the people, the officials of our government who are violating the laws, they live in the very communities where you live. They are your neighbors. If you're looking for rogues and criminals and all of that, these officials live right in your communities. Go after them. Go after them. They live in your communities. You're going after chicken rogues. Somebody steal plenty, you beat them and kill them. But these officials live right in your communities. Somebody say, "Oh, my man, look, we should continue to raise the red flag. We should continue to alarm. Issues that have semblance of chaos. The actions and inactions of our government officials that have the potential to cause chaos in our country. We should flag them. We should raise the red flag. We should raise the alert. Not necessarily for the government officials, for you, the citizens. Hey, be careful. What the government officials are doing, it is intended to provoke all of you, the ordinary people. Do you know when the military take over? Do you know what provoked military takeover in many countries? It's due to the breakdown of law and order. Fundamental rights are being violated. Law and orders are broken down. Because when law and order are broken down, the society becomes lawless. And when and depending on the height of the lawlessness of our country, it leads us into civil conflicts. At that point, it burdens the military. That's why you see in most cases, when law and order are broken down completely, the military comes in. When the citizens do not have confidence in their government or in their leaders anymore, the military comes in and take over to restore constitutional democracy, to restore law and order. And as I'm sensing that we as a country, we are not far from a military takeover. I'm saying this to you tonight. And I'm not going to miss my words on anything. This country is not far from a military takeover. Because, man, there are two things going to happen. The police cannot continue to use baton or use their hands to intimidate citizens. They have to use guns. And if they use guns, they will kill people. When people get killed, the citizens will get angry. They will move on and move into the police and overwhelm the police and overwhelm them. And the entire situation becomes chaotic. That's the chaos we are seeing and talking about. Because if you cannot respect my feelings and my right, I am not going to respect your right. At that point, it becomes, it could lead into violence. Because you're telling me this is your seat, but you will not sit here. But you're telling me I should allow you to sit in your seat. So if I cannot sit in my seat, you will not also sit in your seat. An attempt to want to sit in your seat and depart me will become detrimental to our peace. At that point, it gets violent. And all the parties have their supporters. The president cannot be telling us that the traditional leaders are intervening to find a political solution to the problem. And he is announcing publicly that he will continue to do business with Richard Kuhn. What kind of madness is that? Come to think about it. The entire country has gone mad. Our leaders have gone mad. We are no longer respecting the rule of law. We are no longer honoring our constitutional authority. People call it politics. So last night, you big brother who called me last night and said I should not have brought in Congo and native thing. You see why I brought in the Congo and the native thing last night? Did you listen to the statement from the president? A Bwaka has provoked some of us to regret ever pushing Congo people out of power. A Bwaka, a Kun, a Kole, a Famule, all indigenous names. They have shown us enough reasons why we should regret ever hosting the Totmans, the Turbers, the Riches, the Henrys, the Taylors, and all of that. See what is happening? At least we can fight politically. But when the matter reaches the court and the court is an authority or an opinion or a ruling, at that point, it is supposed to end our violation, our politics. It is supposed to end our everything because the authority, the legal authority to say, hey, you are wrong, you are right, has already spoken. In the face of the Supreme Court opinion, the highest seat in the land, the presidency is saying, I will continue to do business with these people. This is what we are. I will continue to do business with these people. And as I listen to people saying, oh, the president does not have. I want to play this president speak. Okay, yes. Let's listen to our president. Listen.
Our Constitution and the Supreme Court have defined what constitutes a quorum for the conduct of business in the legislature. We intend to vigorously uphold this vital principle of our constitutional democracy. We will continue to work with a quorum that will ensure the full functioning of our government.
Did you hear him? Do you hear that? No, you didn't hear him. I'll play that again.
Our Constitution and the Supreme Court have defined what constitutes a quorum for the conduct of business in the legislature. We intend to vigorously uphold this vital principle of our constitutional democracy. We will continue to work with a quorum that will ensure the full functioning of our government.
And Wellington, I don't know your last name, but because your last name is not showing. But Wellington, listen to the president. Listen keenly to the president. That we say we encourage exchanges and disagreements. Yeah, they are healthy for our democracy. Okay, listen to Joe Parker. Listen to him.
Our Constitution and the Supreme Court have defined what constitutes a quorum for the conduct of business in the legislature. We intend to vigorously uphold this vital principle of our constitutional democracy. We will continue to work with a quorum.
There are crowds in many places, in every community, you can see. So if you see crime and body, don't take law in your hand for the right authority. That it can't take your law in. Crime stopper here for us, bringing safety to your door. Whether you rich or you poor, if you see a human target, I mean you cheche. You wait for your safety. If you see a don't keep it, you must call to report it. Crime stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime stopper, stopping crime and making peace for them before. Crime stopper Liberia, from the center to interior. Crime stopper, keeping us safe, they're stopping crimes for all of us. Crime stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime.
You see, so these officials of government, they are aware that what they are doing is wrong. They know what they are doing is chaotic. They are aware that there will be consequences for their actions. But they're saying, my man, you don't sound like that, my man. You know, yeah, the old man is the president. We can expose him to political, you know, like that. The old man, today he did it, and he is supposed to be the president, and we're supposed to acquire the due courtesy and all of that. And you know, you can't disagree with the elder. The elder's always right and all of that. You see what our country is running into. The elders are always right, but the elders must always do the right things. The elders must always listen to your president. Listen.
Our Constitution and the Supreme Court have defined what constitutes a quorum for the conduct of business in the legislature. We intend to vigorously uphold this vital principle of our constitutional democracy. We will continue to work with a quorum that will ensure the full functioning of our government.
We will continue. The Constitution of the Supreme Court have already determined, established what a quorum is. And Baga said he will continue to work. You know, I said Yeke did something today that I'm observing. I wanted to talk about it, but I'm not going to talk about it. You know what? I'm beginning to reach a point where I think Yeke's actions are justifiable. Yeke action is an offspring, is as a result of the lack of law and order. So when I was telling you just now that, hey, when law and order are broken down in the country, people take the laws in their hands. People take the laws in their hands to do anything. So Yeke's action justifies that. Yeke's actions explain that. I mean, just sit down and I know, you know, I'm shocked. Sit down and imagine that the president is telling you he will continue to do business with Richard Kuhn. Just imagine. Somebody said you can be instilling fear in the people. Where's the fear? You know what? We are running into a constitutional crisis. That the Supreme Court is saying this man is not a speaker, this is a speaker per our laws. The president is saying, no, I don't recognize this man as speaker. I'm not going to do business with him as speaker. I'm going to continue doing business with the person the court say he is not the speaker. This is a complete heading to how you call it, constitutional crisis. We are headed deep into constitutional crisis. We can start seeing people parading with guns. And some people who don't have money to buy guns, they go fit a rubber gun. They be parading with rubber gun too. We stay on family in. You see one put him in from family, just say on family, see they put him in with a rubber gun, you will not see you. So the protesters now will not be going to Capitol building. Just say on family, on soup student and one protest, they stay in the Capitol building, in the fence, in the tree, they use a rubber gun, they protest, they riot, put it in, they use a rubber gun, they in the pop, 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 pop. Because they don't have guns. So they face our rubber guns. And they will not come close to you to protest anymore. They stay in affairs and protest and just use the rubber gun on you. Because you got guns. And you guys are prepared to discharge live bullets at any time. So the citizens now are being compelled to find alternative means or to find a means or a capacity, build a capacity to the level that will match the police. Because the force has to be proportional. Lawmakers, armless or armed lawmakers, were being used, were being beaten. Because of this same crisis, elected lawmakers were humiliated, and they are still being humiliated. Today, a couple of lawmakers received calls from the police headquarters to go to Central on Monday. District 16 Representative Dixon Sibo is one of them. They are still finding means to keep the country chaotic. A few of you sitting somewhere and talking about, oh, why you always talking about chaos? Why you always doing things that will remind people about their hard days? This is how all of our wars started in this country. And you say we're always talking chaos, instilling fear in the people. Nobody is instilling fear in anybody. We are projecting realities. Who told you that every time everybody will just sit down and allow themselves to be suppressed by a minority group? Because you put all the officials of government together, all of them from capital building to the Supreme Court to the executive, put everybody together. They still represent a minority group. We have 5 million plus people in this country. The hardship is increasing. People do not even have access, cheap and affordable access to basic social services. When our government is supposed to be thinking about creating means that will grow our middle class, and they are focused on violating our laws, it is the government that is instilling fear in us. Because man, you imagine sitting down and hearing your president telling you to hell with the Supreme Court. I will continue to do business with the people I was doing business with. And you say I'm the one instilling fears in you? What's about what the president has said? Do you know how lawmakers are feeling tonight? Do you know how ambassadors are feeling tonight? Do you know what's running through the minds of your diplomatic friends here? Do you know what the U.S. embassy, the French embassy, German embassy, all these people, do you know what the international community resident in Liberia are thinking tonight? That your president will call a press conference and issue a statement that will undermine the authority of the Supreme Court or the ruling of the court? Do you know what's running through the minds of these people? Pretty soon, these people come and start shutting down all their NGOs and pulling out of your country and leave your country and leave you alone to run your country. You hear talking about somebody sitting on radio is fearing people. The person on radio is alerting you, is informing you. Is it instilling fear in you? This is the president we're talking about. This is the presidency. For instance, the Chief Justice. This is the Supreme Court, the highest court in the country to interpret and restore or ensure constitutional order. Nobody else has that authority. The only body in the country with the authority to restore constitutional order is the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has ruled restoring constitutional order in the House. Your president says he's not going to abide. He's going to continue doing business. And you're talking about somebody instilling fear in the people. We sat here, we saw Capitol building on fire, which we believe was not burnt. We believe it was not arson. We believe it was electrical. I believe it was an electrical issue. But all spiritual. I believe strongly that building got burned because God is angry with this country. God is angry with this leadership. God is angry with this president. God is angry with the people in the house, in that legislature who are behaving lawlessly. God is angry with them. And you all think it's just about politics. Mr. Barker is 80 years old. Mr. Barker has over 42 years experience according to them. So it means this man spent 50%, half of his life in government. And see what's going on. See what's going on. I read today from a friend who is a student lawyer. A student lawyer, but all his colleagues beat him on his post. To the extent that one of his instructors had to go on the post and say, "My man, this is not what I taught you at law school." Imagine a student lawyer, only because he is an apologist of the government, is writing on his Facebook page and telling you the Supreme Court issues a ruling that it does not have the power to enforce. Where in the 1 year you don't see Supreme Court enforcing law? Those of us who are not even law school students, we are aware, we know that the Supreme Court, no course in fact, enforcement is squarely left on the shoulders of the executive branch of the government. That is why the Constitution divided the responsibility. They say you are responsible to make laws. When people come in conflict with the laws, the court, or when people are not understanding the law, you go to the court, the judiciary. That your responsibility to adjudicate cases of people who come in conflict with the law, and people who do not understand the true meaning of the law, who have issue of understanding, they must go to the Supreme Court for interpretation. And they say that's the only body that has the authority to interpret our laws in our country. And when that body speaks, it becomes binding on all men and women in the country. Boy, girl, whosoever, it becomes binding on everybody, regardless of your status in society or your age or creed or religion or tradition. That's what our law says. And the men say the Supreme Court issue a ruling that it cannot enforce. The Supreme Court's opinions or rulings are bounded by laws. They are guided by what the Constitution says. The authority that our Constitution gives them. You see, the Supreme Court issue a ruling that it does not have power to enforce. It is the executive that is supposed to enforce. They say when the first branch, that's why it's called the reason why the legislature is considered the first branch of the government. It is not written in our Constitution that the legislature is the first branch. No, it is not written anywhere. It is by reasoning that many intellectuals or academicians or scholars or researchers consider, or radio people, everybody consider the legislature as the first branch of government. And that reasoning is because no society thrives or progresses without law and order. So the first thing that any society looks for is law and order. Where do you get law and order from? Where do you get it? They say, to say this place will be, you don't do this, don't do this. Let's put it on paper. The formation of government. Let's put it on paper. Nobody should eat at 2 o'clock. Nobody should go so. Nobody should go so. Nobody should talk after 10. The body that has that authority to put pen to paper to ensure that nobody is at 10 o'clock and nobody urinates in the street and nobody does this is the legislature. That's why it is considered the first branch of government, because constitutional order begins with the writing down and agreement of laws. And the body that can write down and agree or pass law is the legislature. So it is considered the first branch of the government. When they finish passing law, now they say, your responsibility is to enforce the law that we pass. Then the executive comes in the middle. Because when you pass the law, there must be a body to ensure that that law is implemented. The executive comes in. Suppose say, yeah, the executive is the second branch. Or the executive is the engine of the government, the mayfield of the government. Because when in implementing the law, all branches of the government get affected. In the implementation of the law, all branches of the government get affected, positively or negatively. Or let me use impacted. In the enforcement implementation of the laws, all branches get impacted by the enforcement or implementation of the law. So it makes the executive the cream de la cream of our governance system. That's why they put the president there. Say you can preside over this one. You have somebody here, you have authority here, you have authority here, you have authority here, because you have Abo here, you have Abo here, because you are the engine. You are the engine. So they put the president in the executive. Say you go in the executive, preside it. And we are supposed to understand these fundamental reasoning. People who went to school are the ones violating the laws. Now, when the legislature passes the law and in the implementation, in the exercise of the duties of the executive, doing that exercise of your law, of your right, your duties, in the exercise of the duties, you are exercising your duties. And in the exercise of your duty, it comes in conflict with the law. Say, go to this place. This place will be able to address violation of the laws. This place will be able to address ambiguity of the law. This place will be able to address misunderstanding of the law. So you go here. That's why they went there. So everybody has their responsibility. The Supreme Court does not go around enforcing law. The judiciary does not go around enforcing law. Even in the case where maybe James Wiato is accused of murder, and James Wiato is taken to court. The process of punishing James Wiato, or the place James Wiato is supposed to be kept, has to do with enforcement. They may commit murder. We need to arrest the man. Court, they may have committed murder, we want to arrest the man. The court does not go you looking for you to arrest you. The court issue arrest order for you. The enforcement of that arrest lies within the power and authority of the executive. That's why you see they can take police officers and put them behind the sheriff. The sheriff, you see, they will go to serve you a writ of arrest. Hello, here's a writ of arrest. You say you are arrested, you should be arrested. That sheriff not going to test you. That sheriff ain't get nothing to do with you. The sheriff, when they come and give you your writ of arrest, and stand and watch the police exercise whole portion of the separation of power to enforce that writ of arrest that comes from the court. The court don't get enforcement power. How can we hear people saying the court wrote a ruling, issue a ruling that it does not have power to enforce? Court get enforcement power. Court can issue orders, mandates, instructions, and rely on the executive to enforce enforce or ensure that those orders and instructions are adhered to. When the court say nobody should sit in this chair, the court does not go start putting people for in the chair. That the police is supposed to do that one. And the police is under the executive. But hey, you hear the law say, don't you sit down in the chair. Why are you sitting there? Put him on counter, excuse me, sir, can you please leave? There's a lawyer, nobody's supposed to sit in the chair. Where did that law come from? So we have to understand these basic principles. But we start arguing. That's what I said yesterday. You see, people want to intellectualize our constitution. People want to intellectualize the ruling from the Supreme Court. And they do that with a high degree of illiteracy, too. Thinking they are making sense, thinking they're correct, thinking they are helping the country. In essence, they are just projecting themselves. Oh, yeah, Jim Weah is eloquent. That's all. But I say this to all of you. The time or the days of reckoning are closer. There will come a time where people will want to regret their actions. There will come a time where people will want to regret their actions, and they will want some of us to stand with them. And we will not be available. We will not be available. The Justice Minister has shown beyond all reasonable doubts that he's an agent of conflict. No wonder why the Methodist Church is in crisis today. No wonder why the Methodist Church is in crisis today. Now we are seeing why the Methodist Church is in crisis today. When you have a man that also swear as a legal advisor to the church, what do you get? When you have a man that also swear as a legal counsel for the church, what do you get? See the mess we in. Anybody think they play like this society now? This is a messy society. Liberia is supposed to be growing. We are supposed to be progressing in the rule of law, agriculture, the economy, health, education. We are supposed to be progressing. But how come? How come? We break the entire system down only because of personal interest. And I hear Braga talking about personal interest. No, Mr. President, if anybody should be talking about personal interest, dropping or relinquishing personal interest here and putting and wearing our nationalistic and patriotic spirit, we should be telling you. You are putting your personal interest first. You're saying if Richard Kuhn is not speaker, and what pisses me off the most is that this man says he has 50 signatures that are removed from the team. Anyway, they tell him go to election. He say he don't want to go to election. Who having 50 signatures and can't go to remove the person? Eh? Is that when you're taking test, if you spying good, nothing in your head is empty, nothing there. You now spy. Then a teacher come to you and check your paper from you. And tell your people and say, my man, do your test on the paper. Then you say, no, that particular paper you want, you doing test. No, I can't do it. I feel do my test. I wrote my answer. Then you can't take it from me. No, give me the paper. I want my paper back. But anything coming from in your head, the same thing coming in your head though. You roll it on the paper. How come you say you want that particular answer sheet? it means something is not right. No scholar, nobody goes to an exam and depending with the mindset, the confidence that yes, I know the test, I will pass. You writing the test after answering your question and answer sheet. Somebody can say, yeah, what you doing? Do sheet? Give me one. Did you just answer sheet? He said, no, give my answer sheet, but and that sheet, and answer sheet when you read answer your question, even you read answer, you didn't start crying. No, I can't do it. You start protesting. No, I can't do it. No, get out my paper back. I mean, that answer was illegally acquired. It does not exist. You know it. But at the moment, this is not what's before us. What is before us is the integrity of our democracy. What is before us is the sustainability of our laws. What is before us is the repetition of our courts, especially the Supreme Court. That's what before us. What is at stake? The repetition of the Supreme Court, the integrity of our democracy. The integrity of our democracy. The country, the face of our country has said to us, he will continue doing business with his quorum that was established by his justice minister. And somebody said, Austin, what do we do now? I don't know what do we do? I will not advise anybody to resort into violence. No, I will not be a part of that. I will not be a part of anything. I will not advise anybody to resort into violence. The only thing that can provoke or may provoke violence is when you're already violating the laws, then you start going after lawmakers, incriminating them, and plotting to incriminate them, and arresting them, intimidating them, humiliating them in the presence of their supporters, in the eyes of their supporters, and even Liberians who are tired of this thing. At that point, nobody will tell the citizens to rise up. They themselves will come outside. But aside from that, everybody agreed to respecting the ruling from the court. And you don't blame lawmakers anymore. We were blaming Roger Kun yesterday. Roger Kun issued a statement. We blaming, Roger Kun, Roger Kun, you should not have done this, blah, 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 blah. Even though I know some of his colleagues have said, hey, we did not authorize this statement. We were not consent to this statement that you issue because some of us, we are supporting you, but we respect the Supreme Court. And we're not going to compromise anything. Anything. We are not going to allow politics to have us compromise anything over the authority of the Supreme Court. Today, we see the president announcing that he is going to continue doing business with his majority bloc. What do you think is going to happen next? Trust me, you only like to hear it, but Liberia is going to get more, it's going to become more lawless. Trust me. And I can't come here be doing show in the net, I finish and drive and go home. No. No, I will not do that. I will not do that. The system is broken down. The legal system is broken down. Nobody respecting anything from the courts. So where do you go? If you're attacked or injured, where do you go? You are considered an opposition. You are considered a critical voice. And you finish talking in the night, chastising the government, exposing them, and you get in your car to go home. You are attacked. What will come from all of it? Nothing. Where do you go to seek redress? Nowhere. Nowhere. You will not go anywhere. At least if the rule of law was working, and where people are respecting the rule of law, people are going to the courts are issuing rulings, and the executive is enforcing the ruling, adhering to them, and all of that. Lawmakers were not breaching the law, lawmakers are not violating the laws, lawmakers are not bringing capital building, lawmakers are not doing this. Hey, people can sit down and be freely exercise their right to speech. But at this point, when it is the authority of the court versus the authority of the president, the violation of our laws has reached a zenith, the highest level in our country. At that point, small children in the occupy model, the chief, it is the chief justice, the speaker, and the president. You see what the crisis is? Instead of the crisis being at that level, at the lower level or the middle level, where the people from the top will come and resolve it, the crisis now is at the top. The crisis is at the point where the three branches of the government are divided on the foundation of our laws, on the integrity of our democracy. The three branches at the top, the speaker from the house, the chief justice, and the president, the three heads of our government are divided, are loggerhead. Folks, and some of you say, oh, see, don't, nobody is that. You sit in a country where you see your mind, your poverty. What does it say about the home? You sit in the home and you see your mind and poverty. Doesn't that instill fear in you? Let's talk. I'm going to give you enough time tonight to call. You're sitting in your home and you see your mind, your poverty. What does that say to you? Doesn't that instill fear in you? Look, this matter has grown from the lawmakers level now. It has grown from the ordinary people. It has even grown from the police now. It has grown to the level of the highest level in the country. Now, small children can talk big people palaver. Now, big people can talk small children palaver. When the big people fighting, those are the elephants. And the grass will suffer. Who represent the grass? Us, we the people. The fight now is at the level of the chief justice, the speaker, and the president. The three heads of our government are not aligned. They're not agreeing. And some of you sitting joking. I say it's politics. Hey, the three heads of our government, the president, the speaker, the chief justice, they are at parallel. The speaker said, I'm the speaker. The speaker said, I'm still the speaker. I was never removed legally. He runs to Supreme Court. Supreme Court said, yes. The speaker, Fonanti, is still the speaker. He was never removed. While you're dead down there, you did not have any authority to do it. So everything is outside everything that was done was outside your authority. We do not recognize it. It is illegal. We hereby restore the right and blah 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 to Fonanti Kofa as a speaker, recognizing as the legitimate speaker. The head of the executive, the president, he said, no, I'm not listening to that thing. I will continue to do business with my group that are funded. Hey, I hear the president talking about nationalism, patriotism, and we should reflect. People should reflect. I mean, elected members should remember the oath that they took. Yeah, you were elected, Mr. President. With all due respect to you, Mr. President, you were elected. Similarly, like the representatives who were elected for 6 years. You were elected. They were sworn into office. They took oath. You took oath. The very chief justice that you are defying today was the one who administered the oath of office to you. You were sworn into office by the chief justice. Today you say to hell with authority. And not only her, But it is the Supreme Court we're talking about here. The Supreme Court we are talking about. Look, if I were on that bench of the Supreme Court, I'd be then tomorrow, my letter of resignation, I'm resigning. Take all the benefits. I'm telling you. If I were on that bench of the Supreme Court and the president issued a statement, I'm resigning. I got nothing to do. It means I'm useless there. What am I doing there? Let's face the reality. What am I doing on a Supreme Court bench when I issue an order or a ruling? The president is telling me I will not honor it. Hey, what am I doing there? It means the Mr. Bwaka's statement and the actions that will follow his statement have rendered the Supreme Court useless. That's what his action has done. His statement tonight that he will continue to do business with Richard Kuhn, followed by his expected actions to beef up security and restore or maintain all rights with, to Richard Kuhn, has rendered the Supreme Court useless. All of y'all get cases at the Supreme Court, that's how we join your cases from there. That's what this thing has done. The statement from the president, that's what he has done. And trust me, the president will advance that his statement with actions. Watch and see. Watch and see. If I were on that bench, I'm going. I'm going. The next day, I'm resigning. The next day, I'll be resigning. I'm leaving. But again, I'm not there. They are the ones there. You know what the president is telling those people? The president's statement is telling those people that all of that do not have sense. They will not. What they wrote does not make sense. It's not legally grounded by law. So his Minister of Justice, his legal advisor, what they're telling him is what he's going by, and not what the Supreme Court. Welcome to Liberia, folks. Welcome to the rescue government. Welcome to the government that has the arrest agenda. That one of the R in the arrest agenda is a representation of the rule of law. Are we experiencing anything that resembles rule of law in this country? From day one to now, Bwaka have been violating the laws. And some of us, when we're telling you, letting Bwaka starting. If you guys do not stand up, do not rise up to the occasion and face Bwaka, it will reach a point where Bwaka will start disrespecting the courts. Where are we today? And another prophet say that kind of pass. Yeah, you see my ear. What did we tell you? Didn't we tell you people that the fact that Joe Bwaka refused to declare his assets within the authority or within the legal requirement of the code of conduct, the asset declaration stuff, rather, what did we tell you? And Bwaka they justify it, intellectualize it, and all of that. His officials followed they violated the law. Bwaka did not stop there. They started dismissing seditions arbitrarily only because they were seditions. Bwaka did not stop there. Bwaka started removing people from tenure jobs illegally. And then we said to you, you all are sitting and doing nothing. We will reach a point in this country where Joe Bwaka will wake up one morning and say, I am not taking any instruction from the court. The level of disrespect from the executive will reach the court. And I said that on the radio. And I sent a particular message to the court. That all of you are sitting. And you are saying nothing. We call on the Bar Association. We call on lawyers, seasoned lawyers who were here, former justice ministers, former justices of the bench. We're calling on eminent lawyers to rise up to the occasion and start talking. Because one morning we will wake up and say Joe Biden has disrespected the instruction or the ruling from the Supreme Court, and we will have nowhere to go. Where are we today? What I predicted last year, December. So we are today. Well, November 6th. November 6th, and on the 7th or 8th, I did a show, I think. On the very day when Joe Biden decided to send his officials to the gavel of Richard Kuhn, it was the day we had that show, yes. And I told you, I said, hey, this thing that is happening, that nobody is intervening or nobody is rising up to Joe Biden, unlike those of us behind these microphones. It will reach a time we will one morning a year, Joe Biden has rejected an opinion or ruling from the Supreme Court. And I also reminded the Supreme Court members of the bench, I said, all of you, you are targets. I said, all of you were targets because the fact that Biden is penetrating the judiciary using his legal advisor to call a city solicitor and ask him to drop a case involving two private citizens. I said that was the beginning of the executive's disrespect towards the court. That was the beginning of the executive's interference with the court. And I told you that thing. Where are we today? It is revealing itself. In fact, it has revealed itself to all of us. The disrespect of our laws has reached the highest level. The Supreme Court is the one now that is being disrespected by the executive. And then not only by a minister or deputy minister or managing director, the Supreme Court is being disrespected by the president of our country. Hey, I say, now. We too go. We say that. Everybody sit and watch. That the people think. Everybody sit down and watch that the people think Bwaga is governing well. Bwaga is the best president that Biwa has ever had. Their morning, these are some we're going to morning. I speak to Joe Bwaga. Mr. President, good morning, sir. Hope you slept well. Mr. President, you are the best president that Biwa has ever had. And we should be saying, everybody should be saying. So every morning now, wake up, Mr. President, good morning. You are the best president that Biwa has ever had. You are doing well. In the afternoon, Mr. President, good afternoon. You are the best president that Biwa has ever had. The country is doing well. Mr. President, good evening to you, Mr. President. Hope your day went well. All is well. The country is progressing. You are the best president that Biwa has ever had. We go to bed. Since that's the country you want, and that's how you want us to run the country, no problem. No problem. Some of you, you're tired holding 10, 15, 20,000. I mean, I've never heard 10,000 in my life before for myself. Yeah, I've never heard 10,000 in my life before for myself. So some of you, you're tired playing with 10, 20, 30, 150, 200,000, 300,000. You're not, because some of you are 55, 60, you are seeing a lot. So you have little to lose. Most of you here, your kids are outside Liberia. Going to school, good schools. You got anything to lose? In Nigeria, that's why the people can adopt government officials and demand ransom. Because these people are rich, they are corrupt, they're stealing a lot of money from our country. So that's all we can do to get money from them, because they got money, they do not want to die. They got money, their children love them, the children know they're making money for their children, for their kids. Their children do not want to lose them because their parents are making money for them. So when we hold them, the children will look for the money, they will go for the money and bring the money, we release them. When the children are adopted by these people, the parents do not want to lose them. The parents will go and look for the money and go and give it to them. That's why adoption is so high in Nigeria. So when you see one government official passing in convoy, heavily armed, well protected, and you will not always see them anywhere. That's how when you see them, that news. Then government officials, they will steal intellectual last April, fuck you into anger, make mockery all of you. You see them working on the community in the morning unaware, short trouser. That's why I say every day, this country is peaceful to some to a greater extent. Liberia has been peaceful since 2006. Because a lot of things are happening in the country and people just walk away. Our officials of government. My people, me for tonight, I'm drinking my cold water here. I'm talking nothing again. I can't take calls. But the president, the chief justice, and the speaker, the war is up there between them now. The Supreme Court versus the executive versus the legislature. The three branches are fighting. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? We are in a country where the three branches of our government are supposed to be coordinating the governance of the state. They are uncoordinated. Joe Barker is the president, man. For God in heaven's sake, you couldn't use 1 inch of your 42 years experience. You returned to the country yesterday. You couldn't call for Nanti today, convene a lunch meeting or a breakfast meeting. Just sit down, call 3 or 4 persons from Richard Kunsa, from Nantista, and if a member from the Bar Association, a member from AFIO, a member or 2 from the Council of Churches, just sit down with the traditional council, and find it will take you 1 week to negotiate dialogue and find a solution. You go issue statement restoring your support, reaffirming your support to continue working with what your justice minister established as quorum. What was that? And you say you are negotiating? And the good thing about it is that the legislature is on break, it's on vacation. So it gives the president enough time to dialogue and solve problems. The president's statement just exacerbated the problem. The president's statement just added more flame to the fire. The president is supposed to be solving problem now, finding solution. So the statements that come from him are supposed to be statements that considers all sides, that covers all sides, that appease all sides, and then it softens the hearts and brings them to the table for dialogue. That's leadership. Instead, the president is taking side. You are negotiating. You are announcing that you want to find a political solution to the impasse of Capitol Hill. And then you are announcing investigation of lawmakers. You are threatening to send them to jail. And you are also announcing your support or reaffirming your support to the side that was not even declared legitimate by the Supreme Court. What kind of dialogue you want? The president does not want a dialogue. 0776 104 104 0886 500 104, and then the WhatsApp is +231 886 500 104. That's what it is tonight. Let's take calls on these different numbers. Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Please go ahead. This is Freedom FM. You're live on the radio. Go ahead quickly.
Yeah, and
What kind of man so? You see, I can spot people all about today. Yeah, no, okay, we have to move away from your monitor now. Go ahead.
I do join on the 7,000 of the now Moses started on 7,000. What I have to say in that case, that the president just spoke today. They give him money for the people get ready for us to go in a step way. That's what don't have Lloyd. When they get all I want to they should get ready for her.
Thank you very much. Next person, go ahead.
Hello?
You're live. Let's hear you.
Yeah, my name is Arthur Gawi.
Okay.
Calling from 17th Street.
Please make your point.
The point is, we just got to pray to the Almighty God for the country. Those guys go and tell the president, tell the Bible, say, agree with it here. The poor, he pinch you. So he said, no, I will not agree with it. They will stay to the same place. You see, all the kind of things that are going on in the country, we all just got to pray to the Almighty God that we shouldn't repeat what we take from him. That's my point. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next person, go ahead.
Hello? Hello?
You're live. Let's hear you.
Yeah, good evening to Victor Family and good evening to my loving people of the Republic of Nigeria and good evening to you there with the speak of our studio. By the way, the introduction and also the amount I do join this consultation this evening for show residents to be specific transformer community with you. This thing number 10 very good. Thank you very much for the topic on the discussion. Very fascinating topic. Interesting.
Hello?
Hello?
Please go ahead. Let's hear you. We lost our other caller.
Yeah, I'm calling from Central Virginia.
Okay.
My man, you're the season, you're stupid on the radio.
And you coming from Virginia? Oh? You ain't get sense. I'm sitting on the radio. I got enough time. I have all of the time. You calling from Virginia. You check it out. One of the useless fools then they took from somewhere in the street, they carry Virginia. Maybe somebody getting laying Virginia because that man Virginia people can't talk like that. Nobody who grew up in Virginia went through training will call on the radio and talk like that. That man, you know he not get sense. Because from the start of the show to the end of the show, nobody has used any hardcore against Joe Barker tonight. Nobody. He just on the radio to show that he born himself. That you know, call to say me I born myself. I live in, I migrated to Virginia. I born myself. He not get mine. He not get part. He born himself. That all he call to show that he born himself. Hey, you know, but that's a society. Let's take somebody else. Hello.
Hello?
Please go ahead.
Yeah, this is Mr. Vaton.
Okay.
You see, what is happening in Nigeria are all those in charge, then every act. But these are the people that is, let's say, embracing every wickedness in this country. This Walker was in, the president, I'm sorry, he was in Ghana when the Supreme Court it ruling, and he heard it, and he was told. In that area, he's supposed to look or he's supposed to condemn every act of that happens. He's supposed to embrace the Supreme Court ruling. Then even some of the government officials, they have to at least condemn some acts. There's one guy from Bon County, James Bole. He even has to be condemned by Bon County, even Council of Elders, and some prominent members of Bon County. So, but you people are the law making. You're trying to break the law. So tell me now, the common people, what will we do? You don't want to set precedents. And this country is not for you, it's for everyone. If people are doing this, what will we do?